Tú no eres mexicana, ¿verdad? ¿De dónde vienes, negra?
¡Abran cancha! ¡Ya ha llegado el sanarte! ¡En Condesa!
¿Cuántos años tienen tus hijos?
No sé, no le llevo las cuentas.
Yo soy el sanarte que por las costas se me ve. Yo soy el sanarte que por las costas se me ve. Enamorando a la sanatita, morenita de pluma café.
Hasta que trabajas, negro.
Yo siempre he sido el negro, pero de ojito más negro. Yo siempre he sido el negro, pero de ojito más negro.
Te quedó bien chingón.
Mi mamá linda, la que más quiero. Tú me has dicho nomás mi mamá linda, la que más quiero. Dicen que yo soy feo, pero la sanata le canto bonito.
¿Y esto?
No es para ti.
¿Y entonces?
Entonces nada, no es para ti y se acabó.
Si no le gusta mi canto, con mi baile yo la conquisto. Que lo vuela, lo vuela, lo vuela, lo vuela, lo vuela, lo vuela, lo. Que lo vuela, lo vuela, lo vuela, lo vuela, lo vuela, lo vuela.
Por negra me desprecias, no desprecies mi color, que entre perlas y diamantes esta negra es la mejor. Ay, ay, ay.
Que le pique el pan, pica la papaya, pica la memela.
All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and a sincere salutation to Akim pushing his truth and sincerity. Bahasham, rawchaa, qadash. All right, and I saw this little movie trailer and decided to do a lesson around it because those Mexicans who are dark skinned, all right, those are actually Israelites. They look like Negroes, but they're actually Israelites. Okay, and when the Lord formed man, he gave him melanin. All right. So I'm gonna read this. This is Genesis 2:7, and Yahawah thy power formed man of the dust of the ground. All right. So the Lord, he formed man of the dust of the ground. Okay. That means that man has color. Okay. The Lord's people have color. All right. They're formed out of the dust of the ground, and there's different shades of the ground. All right. Just a little visual aid. Formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Right. Man became a living soul. So the man that the Lord made, all right, he gave him the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and he gave him melanin. All right. The Lord made his people have color and gave them the commandments, All right. So we're a special people, man. And the Lord's, making these movies, come out so brothers can do videos on it, and expose who these people really are. They're not Mexicans. They're not Negroes. They're Israelites. And yes, Latinos are Israelites. All right. So that's why I'm doing this video. Okay. Because we all have melanin. Okay. We're all Israelites. The Lord formed us to have color and breathe into us what? This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which gives you life. It quickens you in the spirit. All right. So Lord willing, this be edifying. But what these people are really from Israel, man. But they were brought over here. They came over here. This is 2 Ezra 13:40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hoshea the king. All right. So 10 tribes were carried away prisoners out of their own land of Israel in the time of Hoshea the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, who conquered them, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. Right. So he carried them into Assyria. All right. King Salmanassar carried the 10 tribes, okay, into another land, which is Assyria. And you can read about this in the Bible. Well, the Apocrypha is the part of the Bible But you could also read it in the book of 2 Kings, Salakia. This is 2 Kings 17 and 16. And they left all the commandments of the Lord, their power, and made them molten images, even 2 calves, and made a grove, and worshiped all the host of heaven, and served Baal. And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire, and use divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of Yahawah, to provoke him to anger. Right. Israel went off, man. They were idol worshippers. Therefore, Yahawah was very angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. Right. So the Lord removed the 10 tribes out of Israel. Okay. And only left Judah. But it says also Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord, Judah being the so-called Negroes. And we know this now through the spirit and power of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi. Okay. Through the spirit of prophecy. All right. And through the spirit, and faith, kept not the commandments of the Lord, their power, but walked in the statutes of Israel, which they made. And the Yahawah rejected all the seed of Israel and afflicted them and delivered them into the hand of spoilers until he had cast them out of his sight. Right. For he rent, let me skip down to 23. Until Yahawah removed Israel out of his sight, and he had said by all his servants the prophets, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. Right. Okay. Back in 2nd Ezra's 13th chapter in the Apocrypha, it says, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive. Right. So the Lord let Salmanassar lead the Israelites captive, and only Judah stayed behind in Israel, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land, which was Assyria. But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where mankind dwelt, where never mankind dwelt. So, they made a plan amongst themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, mainly the Assyrians, and go into another land where, never mankind lived. All right. It says that they might there keep their statues, which they never kept in their own land. Right. Because they were being abominable, making their kids pass through the fire and worshiping other gods. They were just going off, being wicked. All right. There they would, observe their customs that they hadn't kept, in their land. It says, and they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. All right. It's the little visual aid. So what they did was King Salmanassar led them captive into Assyria. So they came into the Euphrates River. And from there, they left, and they came, down through the Euphrates, to the eastern coast of Africa, to the southern tip. They came all the way here to what? To Arsareth, which means another land, okay, which is really the Americas. And they spread, man, throughout the whole Americas, throughout central Mexico, southern central Mexico and North America, all the way up to Canada, Alaska, all right? The whole Americas, the whole Western hemisphere, if, For the Most High then shewed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. So the Lord let them enter into the river, and they came across. All right, and he let the ocean still so they could pass over. All the way to the Americas. That's who those Mexicans are in that movie La Negrada. They're really Israelites, because the Lord formed man to have color and gave them the laws, judgments, statutes, and commandments orally. All right, so our people went off, but they wanted to worship the Heavenly Father in another land, so they left. All right, they left the multitude of all the heathens, and they came to another land. So that's that movie La Negrada. That's who it's depicting. It. That's who's in that movie. Those are Israelites. They just look like Negroes, because our people are lost. They forgot who they are. They think that they're Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, but those Latinos that look dark and speak Spanish, they're actually Israelites, man. It says for through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Arsareth. All right, so from Assyria all the way to Arsareth, which is another land, which is in South America, all the way to the Americas. All right, it was a year and a half. It says, then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come. So you're beginning to see these people now, man. You know, these movies are coming out. This truth is spreading. You're beginning to see who these people really are, who came into this land. They're really Israelites. Okay. And here's a little depiction of some Latinos, starting with the Negroes. All right. It's no coincidence that we look the same, man. We all got melanin. Okay. This is Benjamin. All right. This is Levi, the Haitians. All right. Simeon, Dominicans. All right. Zebulon. All right. So it's no coincidence that we all have the same color skin, but but we speak different languages because we were dispersed throughout the whole world, man. All right. I'll get back to this. Let me get this scripture. Let me pull this out real quick. This is Deuteronomy 29 and 24. Even all the nations shall say, wherefore hath the Yahawah done this unto this land? What meaneth the heat of this great anger? Then men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord, power of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. Right. The Lord told us to follow the laws, judgments, statutes, and commandments, or he would curse us, man, once we came out of Egypt. And we are cursed people. You know, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we're cursed, man. And the dispersed of Israel, for they went and served other gods and worshiped them, gods whom they knew not and whom he had not given unto them. Right, like Jesus, Buddha, all right, Islam, and such and so on and so forth. And the anger of Yahawah was kindled against this land to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book, right? Deuteronomy 28 chapter, it talks about the curses, that if they would forsake the Lord, what he would do to them. And Yahawah rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation and cast them into another land as it is this day, right? So we're spread all over the world, man. Okay. That's why you got Haitians. That's why you got Dominicans. That's why you got Puerto Ricans and Colombians and Mexicans. And these are all the same people. All right. Let's see. Let's go back. Puerto Ricans are dark skinned. Manasseh, so-called Cubans. Look at. Okay. And that's what we do, man. We take movies like this and we shed a little bit of light, man. These are Israelites, man. These Native Americans, they're Israelites. Okay. That's why we go out there and you see us teaching out on the highways and hedges, man. Telling Israel, to you blacks, Latinos, and you Native Americans, y'all the real chosen people of the Most High, man. Okay. Just a couple visual aids. So I can. Oh my goodness, I'm everywhere. Okay. Right. All these people, man. That movie La Negrada, which roughly translated is like saying those Negroes, the group of Negroes, they were what? They were Mexicans, which their real biblical name is Issachar. All right. They have melanin. They're of color. They're Negroes too, man. All right. So we go out there and we teach, man. We teach that y'all the same people. This is Ezekiel 37:15. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, moreover, the son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. And join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. Right. So that stick is talking about that sign, man. This sign you got right here. 12 tribes of Israel with Judah and his companions. All right. Ephraim and his companions. Right. Them 10 tribes. Right. Ephraim is the head of the 10 tribes. All right. And Judah, all right, is the so-called Negroes. This is the stick that it's talking about. Man, make it into one and put them together. So our people are coming together, man. This truth is coming out. All right. But our people are lost, man. You know, our people are lost, man. It says, this is Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Right. So we read in Kings, the Lord cast first Israel, the 10 tribes, out, okay, into Assyria. All right. And then what did they do? The 10 tribes came to what? They came to America. All right. And then Judah stayed, and then they ended up going into captivity too through the Babylonians. All right. So we left Israel. We never seen it again. We discontinued from our heritage, and we serve our enemies in a land which we know not, because Israel's really dispersed throughout the whole world. The scriptures speak about that time and time again. That's something these Christians can't get. All right. Salakia. Let's get this. And you know, only like we say, man, only the elect's gonna get it, man. Let's get that word heritage, man.
Strong's H 5159. Nachala.
Right. Possessions, property, inheritance, heritage. All right. We discontinued from our property, which is Israel, our inheritance, to being sons of the Most High. All right. We discontinued from that, man. The Lord caused us to serve our enemies, man. Are not the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans serving their enemies? You know, Latinos living in a country where you can't even live here because you need to have papers. You know, Negroes were sold on auction blocks. Your Native Americans were you know, put on plantations and domesticated, so-called. So yeah, man, we're serving our enemies in a land which, you know, we really didn't know, because, you know, we came over here through prophecy, man. You know, so did the Negroes, man. This is Deuteronomy 28, scripture that we know all too well. This could only have happened to Negroes. This is and Deuteronomy 28:68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. All right. So after the Negroes left the captivity of Egypt, they went into Egypt again with ships. And that only happened when the Negroes went on cargo slave ships to serve captivity here in America. By the whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. Right. You know, so, you know, the Negroes never saw Israel again. We never saw it when we went into captivity first, and then they never saw it again. All right. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Right. So Israel, all of Israel was sold unto their enemies, man. The Negroes were sold in America and made to serve in hard bondage. All right. And nobody helped them out, man. So we are the people that are inhabiting the Americans now. All right. Just because you see Hispanics, okay, that don't mean that you know, they're not Israelites. Latinos, you know, Native Americans, they're Israelites. Scriptures speak about it, man. It's all prophecy to the spirit. They came over here. You know, it's written in the book of 2nd Ezra, which is a part of the Bible. All right. See, and the Bible speaks about everything, man. Let me see. Let me get one more. Right, because unless you're looking like the back of Forrest Whitaker's neck, you're not an Israelite, and that's not true. Because really, the scriptures tell you in Jeremiah 12:9, my inheritance is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds around about are against her. Come ye assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. Right, so the heritage of the Lord, all right, is like a speckled bird. All right, a speckled bird has a lot of colors, man, but we lost our heritage, man. Okay, so our people don't know who they are because they look like all different colors and they're in all different lands, because the original Israelites were dark skinned. Okay, they were from the ground. Now you got light-skinned Puerto Ricans, you got light-skinned Mexicans, they look like damn near Edomites. You got even Judites, so-called Negroes, they look like white people. So we're totally speckled, man, and we've totally lost our heritage. But this is all prophecy, and it's beautiful because only the elect's gonna see, man, what's really going on, these scriptures and what they're really saying. It says Ephraim, all right, which is the whole northern kingdom, all right, he have mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. Right, Ephraim, all right, the northern kingdom have mixed themselves among the other nations. That's why they're light-skinned. They're not so-called dark like that. You know what I'm saying? Not all of them. Right? Ephraim is a cake not turned. What happens when a cake is not turned when you cook it? It's just dark on one side, but it's light on the other side. So when you Latinos be in the sun, they with their clothes on, they look dark, but they take their clothes off and they're like two-tone. You know what I'm saying? That's that cake not turned, man. All right. So yeah, I saw that movie, man, and I just wanted to do a little lesson upon it because these people who are dark skinned Latinos, they look like Negroes. Those are Israelites, man. And then this is this truth is coming out, man. The Lord showcasing his people, and we capitalize off these movies and bring the truth into them to shed light, visual aid. So Lord willing, this video was edifying, all right. And I just want to say, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Shalom.